So to kick that segment off tonight, I will share with you the theory that inspired this idea, which is that Foxface, and I actually mentioned this to Jackie Emerson, and she agreed that this was sort of an intriguing idea. Foxface knew that the berries were poisonous and knowingly killed herself. So what do you guys think about that crazy theory?
Actually, I heard that before. I shouldn't ask her.
Yeah.
But I think that makes no sense whatsoever.
And why do you say that it makes no sense? Let's hear your argument against that theory, Phil.
It's from someone who hasn't read all the books. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Phil.
No, I think it's pretty clear that she took the berries because PETA had taken them, and she assumed that PETA had taken them because he intended to eat them and they were safe, and she made a living off of scavenging off of other people's food, and her strategy was to hide and hide and hide for as long as possible and try to win the whole thing. So, look, I mean, is it possible she killed herself? Yeah, but I think people are reading too much into it. I mean, I think at the end of the day, she ate the berries because she thought that they were safe.
I agree. Does anyone want to say that it was suicide? Anybody here?
No, I think, it goes with how her whole strategy was for the whole thing. I mean, if deep down inside she thought, okay, like I'm one of the last few people and there's two people from the same district that are still alive and they're definitely not going to kill each other before me, it might have been a thought, but that was her whole strategy to do the whole thing was like he said. She hid and she stole people's food, so it wasn't really out of character.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, if she wanted to kill herself, she didn't have to wait for PETA to pick them. She would have just eaten them earlier on.
Or she could have just walked into the cornucopia at some point, too, and just kind of gotten bludgeoned over there. But I actually have a note. Go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, she just find Cato and step right out in front of him. There you go. That's,
But I actually have a note here
he wouldn't hesitate.
A note from Suzanne Collins that she just emailed to me before the show. And she said, It is true, Foxface did commit suicide. So what do you have to say to that?
Liar.
Well, technically it was suicide. It wasn't intentional suicide.
I will say that the reasoning behind this theory that this person, whose name I can't remember, gave on these Scholastic message boards was, as someone just mentioned, Foxface knew that she had no chance to win at that point. She was left with Cato, who obviously she could not, didn't really didn't stand a chance against, and then PETA and Katniss, who obviously, would kill her. So that was sort of their reasoning, that this was the only way out that she could find.
Yeah, she could have hoped they all killed each other. I mean, and she would have been the last one standing.
Honestly. Go ahead.
I was going to say, Cato would have saw PETA and Katniss as more of a threat than Foxface. So, I mean, if it came down to him and, he would have been gunning for them probably before Foxface, unless he just happened to cross her, because she wouldn't be any threat to him at the end, he wouldn't think. I mean, he against PETA and Katniss, this is pure revenge he's going for. So, for what had happened, he's going after them. And so I don't think Foxface was probably even on his radar at that point, unless he happened to come across her. So.
And honestly, in the scheme of things, I don't think that in past games it would have been completely unheard of somebody to kind of do something that would kill them if they thought that they had absolutely no chance. I don't think that was her outright thought, but she might have just been like, you know what, I'll take a chance. If they're deadly, then I know I probably don't have a shot to win anyway. But I don't think that was necessarily she was planning on killing herself. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, one more argument for that theory is that Foxface obviously was someone who relied on her intelligence, who was a very sort of cunning, crafty person, and shouldn't she maybe have known that those berries were poisonous? There was a plants-related workshop at the training session before the Hunger Games. So if she if she went there and learned about poisonous plants, she may have known that the berries were poisonous.
Clearly PETA didn't pay attention in that plant, poisonous.
Exactly.
Yep. So,
I think. Yeah, I personally don't think it was suicide. Just for the record.
Well, I mean, they say, they distinctly say, they watched her pull her emaciated body up. So as hungry as she was, she might not even have looked twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it that Gale and Katniss say that it's if they had to choose between starving to death or a bullet, they would choose the bullet? Maybe that's kind of her way out. She wasn't going to wait to starve, so she just picked the easier way.
There's something kind of ironic, though, about starving so much that you actually eat something that kills you. I don't know. I guess there's a irony in that. But Savanna, we have one more crackpot theory, right, that we wanted to go through today, and we have more that we're going to do in future shows because I think this has been a lot of fun. But that first one was definitely crackpot, in my opinion. what was the nuts?
So to contrast a bit with that very crazy theory, here's one that I actually think makes a lot of sense. This is from Rebecca on Twitter, Rebecca DG, and she found this somewhere online. Mr. Everdeen and Mr. Hawthorne, Gale's father, they were both they died in a mine accident, but it's many theorize that it wasn't an accident, that it was an explosion triggered on purpose because they were revolutionaries.
Wow.
Well, having not read the second or third books, I'll just say that when I read it was an accident in the first book that killed Katniss's father, I had a hunch it was not really an accident. That was totally believable for me.
If it wasn't an accident, it would be a totally perfect way for the Capitol to every once in a while, show the districts who's boss, kind of putting everyone in their place. That could totally have happened.
I'm just kind of shocked that anybody would think the Capitol could do such a thing like that.
What if it was District 13? To me, if we're going to go conspiracy theory that it would be District 13 trying to set up the revolution, knowing that this would push the children of these people who had died in the crash to maybe be anti-capital. We've already seen that they're capable, at the end of Mockingjay, of trying to play accidents, making them look like they were done by the Capitol. So I would wonder if maybe this was trying to plant the seeds of revolution.
Wow, I think that idea actually has a lot of merit.
Wow, congratulations for that construction. I never would have thought of that, but that makes so much sense.
Well, I've been doing a reread, and in rereading the first book, everything just seems like it was pre-orchestrated to place Katniss in the Mockingjay position. So it had to have gone back years and years.
This takes me back
Kelly,
to before... Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, this takes me back to before Mockingjay came out. And the Pearl theory and all these theories that were out before, and, one of them was, there was a lot of theories about, without spoiling, because I don't want to spoil it, but spoil Phil, but theories about that being a, and not being an accident. I mean, it's so funny, 'cause I love this whole theorizing thing, because it's like, with the books all being out and not having that, what's going to happen in the next book to theorize anymore. It's nice going back and going, well, what if there's something else here that, whether it be crazy or not. Like you were saying, crackpot, it's like, instead of real or not real, it's crackpot or not crackpot.
Exactly.
So this is just awesome.
Maybe Bill was aware that, Katniss's father was teaching her how to hunt. I mean, they might not have been as blind as, they always thought they were getting away with it, but maybe they knew it, and as a way to kind of stop that, they had to get rid of their fathers.